history. Can you contend with the history?
Can you speak English?
Yeah, but very frequently. Sorry, fluently, sorry.
No, there's no difference between anybody.
Except, finish it off.
Taqwa.
Except in.
Taqwa. Taqwa.
Yeah, there's no compulsion, number one.
No. That's not the one. That's not the one. You were talking about equality for a second, right? So Muhammad's last sermon, right? There's no difference between the Arab and the yellow man, or sorry, the red man, or the red man and the black man, and yada. Right? Yeah, I know. But then, to complete it, it says except in.
Taqwa. I just can't see
So,
5 times.
you see, there's a condition, a way that you can be better, potentially.
In faith.
There's a way that a black man can be better than an Arab, or vice versa.
So what's your point?
Okay?
What's your point?
So what you are telling me isn't absolute equality. It's conditional equality. Alright?
I think you're becoming too analytical.
Now, if you go to Jesus, he said, there is no Jew, there is no Greek. There is no free, there is no slave. All are one in Christ. This is theology. We're comparing Muhammad to Christ. And I'm telling you that you're better off following Christ than Muhammad.
Look,
Okay?
Look, we know who created all the religions.
Who?
Allah.
Allah did. Okay, so Allah created Christianity. Is that correct? Okay, so Allah created Christianity. Pause.
No, Allah didn't create
Well,
Christianity.
I'm talking to him.
There's no such thing as
I'm talking to him.
Christianity. Only this faith.
In your theology,
It's getting out of order here. Look,
that's fine. Come back. Come back.
You've come along out of nowhere.
Pause. I'll get to you. I'll get to you. Come back.
Listen,
Stay in line.
it's a
Your
sign.
Yep.
He's panicking.
The queue.
He won't stop talking.
Okay.
You know.
So wait,
you know-
Allah made all religions, right?
You know Allah exists.
No.
You're
Allah didn't
lying
make all
to
religions.
yourself.
In your theology, He made all
Lying
religions.
to yourself.
So Satanism, for example, is a religion. People worship Iblis or the devil. Did Allah make that?
No, Allah did not make it.
According to you, that's fine. But to you, my friend, finish off.
What kind of conversation you guys are having?
I have no idea. Finish off. So, my friend, are we done, or do you still want to do some more?
I just feel uncomfortable. I don't want to be Christians.
Well, you're not really getting filmed. I mean, the camera is on me, so you can stay there. That's fine.
To help him.
I'll come back later. I just
Yeah. Okay. Homeboy, you asked me about slavery. Come back.
Go
for it.
Go in the arena.
David, we saw
Go in the
before.
arena.
No handshakes? Okay, fine. Come give me a hug.
Okay, tell me what you're going to say. Come on, I ain't got much time.
You had something about slavery. What do you want to ask?
I was going to ask about slavery, which
Go
is
ahead.
very interesting for me. Your point of view, is it that that Islam was the biggest contributors to slavery and
In
blah,
more
blah,
ways
blah?
than one, absolutely.
Okay, so how come that the slaves that went to America,
Yep.
all these countries, how
Yep.
come they all have Western names? How come none of these people now that their ancestors were slaves from before,
Mm-hmm.
how come none of them have Islamic names? They all have Christian names.
Enslaved by Christians.
Well,
Checking by
again,
Christians.
that's a nonsense argument. So yes, the people who enslaved them were in the West were predominantly people who claimed to be Christians. So it would only make sense that they wouldn't call them Abdul. That's all that matters. They were not born.
So what
That's not
Pause.
his point, that's
They
his
were not born Muslims. So they would not have Muslim names in the West that, in the past at least, was largely Christian. So, if we compare slavery between the West and the Arabic slavery that happened for over 1400 years, we can see that in the West, you have large populations of black people that descend from slavery. In America alone, in the States, you have 48 million. In Brazil, you have 200 million. If I compare this to the Islamic world, that participated in slavery for 1400 years and took anywhere between 10 to 17.
One second.
Pause.
It wasn't-
They took anywhere between
it
10
wasn't-
to 17 million
it
slaves
was a
from
social-
sub-Saharan Africa.
Every
Why are
civilization
there
at that
not?
time,
No.
every civilization-
Why are there not populations
One
of
second.
between 10 and
You
17
don't let me
million
speak, man.
black people in the Arab world? Why?
Say that again.
Why are there not populations of between 10 and 17 million people in the Arab world? Why are they only hundreds of thousands or potentially slight millions? The Europeans took slaves. For some reason, there's loads of black people in the West. The Arabs took slaves, but where they go? Where are they? They are gone. They are dead. 8 out of 12 slaves died in the exchange between the sub-Saharan Africa and Arabia. And of the men, most of them would be castrated, and then the women will be taken as concubines and sex slaves. That is why you have very tiny populations of black people in that part of the world.
The reason why you have, as you said, tiny populations of black people is because slavery was not prevalent as it was there, as it was in the West.
That's a lie.
As it was in the West.
And here's the nail in the coffin.
That's it.
Do you know that if there wasn't pharaonic slavery, there wouldn't be Western slavery?
I answered it for you.
I see. Well, you asked me a question about slavery. I told you why. The reason why it was so prevalent was because the greatest example that you have owned and traded slaves. Whereas, for us, the greatest example that we have did not own and trade slaves. Which is why, in the entire Muslim world, there was not one single abolitionist ever to emerge. Not one. Tell me their name.
Bring one up.
Give us one. Tell me their name.
It's time to turn to Jesus Christ.
There are thousands of them.
All right.
You're an Islamophobe.
All right.
No. I hate this sin. I love this sin now.
I think
I'm
it's over.
sorry.
He left. Yeah, sorry.
Why?
Come to the waves.